And check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. Yeah, I know. Ghost BX says start the show. Ghost BX, I was trying to start the show, but guess what, man? I had this situate my dogs, man. My dogs be acting up, man. So yeah, I got a whole laundry list I gotta do before I go live. But I hope everybody doing well, man. Today was one of those days, man. Good goodness and grace. They acting a plumb fool out here, family. Listen. I know people may feel some type of way that I described this broadcast the way that I did, but I gotta call a spade a spade. I gotta call a spade, family. It is what it is. It is what it is, family. Listen, FBA. Hold up. Let me open my camera up real quick. I'm still looking around at some stuff. You know what I mean? Let me open my camera up, family. Listen, man, it is what it is. So we know that I got this guy that's on the screen right now. And when I say FBA and mental illness, I'm not talking about our brothers and sisters who characterize themselves as strong black people. I'm not talking about my people who characterize themselves as African Americans, Moors, Hebrew, or any other thing like that. I'm talking about FBA and mental illness. I want you to understand what I'm saying when I say this. FBA has been founded on the concept of xenophobia. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say FBA and I correlate it with mental illness, I'm not talking about regular, everyday people. I'm talking about those who live in the spirit of xenophobia, those who live in the spirit of blame white man this and white man that, and white supremacy this and white supremacy that. Not saying that these things don't exist, but their whole life is centered around a blame game. Blame an immigrant. Blame white supremacy. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying so far, because I'm going to say it a couple times this show, because I don't want people to think for 1 second that I'm talking about everyday, working hard, melanated people. No, I'm talking about the mentality that is produced from a FBA. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the FBA mentality. When a person is over stimulated with a blame game, this is what you get. Now, the problem with those who call themselves FBA, they refuse to accept that they put out this type of energy. And then soon as they see this type of energy, they distance themselves from the person who they will call FBA. If this same brother with the locks in his head would have would just ran a country mile and won a gold medal, they'll be cheering. He's FBA. He's FBA. Da, da, da. But no. That is not FBA. The successful brothers and sisters out here that are doing big things, those are melanated people who want something for themselves better than what they came into this world with. Those are not FBAs. FBAs are people that go on the internet and they always talking about somebody did this, somebody did that, in the blame game of immigrants and white supremacy. They never have a solution for anything. It's only live stream and crying. That's all they have to offer. Live streams and crying. So at the end of the day, my bad. At the end of the day, people need to stop playing around. I mean, people need to stop playing around. Real talk. So I'm gonna land my plane at that. I mean, I'm gonna land my plane. Nah, man, I'm just saying, man. It's just sad, man, to see these things happen. It is. It's very sad to see these things happen. And another thing that's sad about it is that Don't nobody want to take responsibility. FBA do not want to take responsibility for FBA, family. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But remember I told the story about the quote-unquote FBA sister that swindled the bank? They distanced herself. And she was a straight-up supporter. Before we get into that, family, did y'all hear about the Charlie Kirk? Y'all hear about Charlie Kirk? Press 7 if y'all heard about Charlie Kirk. I'm pretty sure you did. It's all over the news. Charlie Kirk has been unlived by, let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick. Charlie Kirk has been unlived by no other than a old man European who disagreed with him. But if you're not familiar, maybe, family, I'm going to ask y'all why the show going. I don't want to do it right now. Because I should start covering these stories exclusively. If you want to see these stories exclusively, let me know, and I'll cover them, and I'll put my opinion on them. But at the end of the day, yeah, Charlie Kirk is a conservative. He's a Trump conservative. And I mean, so that's good. So good. Dr. Sebi Jr. said he don't know who that guy is. He's a Trump conservative. He is one of those guys that would push out a lot of racial overtones to support the MAGA concept. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? He didn't sugarcoat it like Trump. He kind of, let me see if I can find me let me see if I can find a clip. Let me see. Let's see what he say about George Floyd. Let me see, George Floyd. I think he said something about George Floyd, if I'm not mistaken. Is this it? I think this is it right here.
Officer who murdered George Floyd pardon, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck. And we all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, "I couldn't breathe," well before that restraining technique?
So in this clip right here, he's justifying the death of George Floyd before an audience, and it's actually a sister that's asking the questions, and here he goes.
And
so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to restrain him, and they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Okay, so when does the technique end? Like when they die? Like he said he couldn't breathe.
No, I mean the technique ends when the
And let me add this. This is the same guy that says Martin Luther King was evil. Anybody? Are y'all familiar with this guy? Anybody familiar with this guy? This guy actually said Martin Luther King was evil, and the civil rights. I don't want to misquote him, but he says something to the effect that the Civil Rights Act was evil. You know what I mean? But he literally said Martin Luther King was evil. You know what I'm saying? Never heard of him until I saw the news today. Yeah, but this is what he says about George Floyd. I'll give a few more.
Individual stops resisting arrest. His cause of death was not asphyxiation; it was drug overdose. He had
that was a part of it. Like he also had a heart thing, and he was on drugs. But he wouldn't have just died if he was standing there. Like they had his.
Well, actually, there's an argument to be made. According to the medical examiner, he was drug overdosing in real time. That it wasn't because of the police officer Derek Chauvin that put his knee on the neck. And again, they were taught to do that. According to the Hennepin County Police Department, they teach that as an approved restraint technique. And by the way, this is just a broader point. Our whole country blew up because of this incident, and it was largely based on a lie. We were all.
What was the lie?
The lie is that there was a white police officer that went after a black person just because he was black, and it just wasn't true. He was resisting arrest.
Okay, but he killed him. That doesn't.
Well, again, the county medical examiner disagrees. The county medical examiner in the original report.
So then why did he get sentenced?
Exactly. That's a good question. I'm saying, it's because it was largely a show trial where actually they were not.
So there you go. And this guy, he will go toe to toe to defend the death of George Floyd. I mean, anywhere that he would pop up. And let me just say this. I do not cover a lot of these stories because, man, I don't want to be seen as one who's just baiting tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really like these stories. I don't even like to put my energy on these stories sometimes because I definitely don't want to be the one who is baiting tragedy. But this one here, I definitely got to cover this because when you look at the connection of how FBA push this conservative concept right before the November election, and now they got what they want. Now they distance themselves away from some of the things that is a direct result of the conservative concepts that they was pushing. And when I say conservative concepts, I'm not talking about those responsible conservatives, but I'm talking about those extreme concepts. Those extreme concepts, you know, and FBA was pushing them. They was pushing these concepts. And now that the concepts are literally in real time, now they act as if, hold up, this is crazy. Like when you look at Tariq Nasheed, this is what he put up on a post today. Now, he's sending a double message. I mean, he's sending a double message. You know what I mean? Why would he put this guy who definitely was a racist now? So he can save face on both sides. And this how these double agents play. They save face on both sides. So the people that's on the Kirk side will say, oh, he's in heaven. And he really didn't mean the things that he said about George Floyd. And then the silly FBAs will say, well, you know, him and George Floyd, they're in the same place, but I'm really not sure, but there's George Floyd. And so they send double messages. What person will put this guy next to George Floyd with a caption saying rest in power with 3 peace doves? And this is how slow, this is the mental illness that I speak of about FBA. They really have a mental illness because they cannot, listen, they cannot capture the play anytime that it's played. And so this is why Moorish World TV is so important. Soon I won't even be covering FBA no more because it's just ridiculous, family. It's just ridiculous. Soon I won't even be covering Tariq Nasheed, FBA, or none of that because it's sickening to even put my energy on something like this when it's clearly right in front of the FBA's face. It's right in front of their face. And not only that, I don't know if you know the story about what happened. I don't know if you know the story about what happened with this murder, unlived thing. But what happened is, is that the guy, let me make sure I get his name right. The guy literally, let me see. Let me get his name right. The guy's name is, what's the suspect name? Let me get his name right real quick. So the guy's name is Decarlos Brown Jr. Decarlos Brown Jr., he was arrested August 22nd after he fatally stabbed the 23-year-old Iryna Zarutska, something like that. My apology for butchering it. The whole thing in a nutshell is he was sitting on the train, which I'm not going to show the video. He was sitting on the train and with a hood on, and as she sat there, he just came up and just jabbed the thing, the poker on her. You know what I'm saying? Just jabbed the poker on her. Now, with that being said, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. She was a Ukrainian refugee, if you will, but she was an immigrant. These are the same immigrants that they allowed into the country from the Ukraine and the Russian war. But then the immigrants from South Africa also came in. And this is when we had, if y'all don't remember, we had the conversation about how FBA would always attack the Haitian immigrants, the Mexican immigrants, anybody that was melanated. They would attack them. Now, like my brother Thurman Smart said he had a mental problem, GS, and this is what I'm saying. The guy had a mental problem, but why is it that the mental problem leads him to attack the only European on the train? That comes from something embedded in the subconscious and the psyche as it relates to what is going on in this world today. Yes, yesterday we experienced a lot of trauma. We experienced a lot of racial indifferences and disparities, as well as horrific things that was racially motivated against us. But in 2025, most of this stuff is re-engineered. Most of this stuff is re-engineered through social media lens. You understand what I'm saying? Like what I mean by re-engineered. We know what took place. We know what we've been up against. We know that when you have things like that happen in Texas before, where the brother was a revolutionary, that's a bit, you know what I mean? It's not the same as mental illness. You know what I mean? The brother was a revolutionary, and they might say he was mentally ill too. But nah, the brother, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted to do. But this is a mental illness case, and it's targeting a European, the only one on the train. So, like, I'm looking at it, it's like it's the re-engineering of what FBA has been pushing when they start talking white supremacist stuff. When they start talking that white supremacist stuff. And I believe more of these situations probably going to happen too. I believe more of them going to happen because social media has been re-engineering the xenophobia attitude. They have been reaffirming the racial threat. They trying to do this. They trying to do this. When my solution is this, let me go to my solution. My solution is if you live in a community and you want to protect yourself as well as your loved ones, you need to work together within your community, build something for yourself economically, socially, as well as politically, and create a barrier around yourself and those who you're working with in your community. That's not a foolproof plan. But today with social media, everybody feeds into the social media headline. Everybody is on the social media headline right now. You know what I mean? And so, because everybody gets their information from social media, you can best believe that this guy here was getting information from social media outlet that leads him to do some of the things that he has done in the past and the things that he was recently accused of committing. There's no doubt in my mind. When we look at a lot of these rappers that do these crazy things, they get this stuff from social media, they get this stuff from hip hop, and they go back and duplicate it. This doesn't surprise me at all. This doesn't surprise me at all. It may surprise somebody else, but this doesn't surprise me at all. What surprises me is when people don't take responsibility of the mental illness that they are contributing to when they put out these crazy thoughts. The founder of FBA say it appears to be a hoax. Did anybody see that? He said it appears to be a hoax. Now, this Ukrainian, she can't go back home to her mama. She can't go home to her daddy. She can't do any of that. Hey, you know, but the founders say it's a hoax. Is it a hoax? Listen to what the founders say. Listen what the founders say. The founder of FBA says it is a hoax. Let me see if I can find this real quick. That's what he said. Listen to this.
Because even white people, there are some white people.
Hold up. The founder says it's a hoax, family. Listen to this madness right here. Because the founder don't want to take responsibility of the illness of FBA that he continues to push on these airways. He pushed these types of people concepts. He pushed these types of concepts with that xenophobia stuff. You know what I mean? Watch this. Listen to this.
Who are questioning this. There's some white people who are saying that this case and the way it went down looks funny style.
And one thing about this guy, he said there is some white people, quote unquote, that is questioning this thing. But he never shows who the white people are. He never shows that. You know what I mean? And this is to try to bolster his claim that it don't look official. Because if the white person, quote unquote, says it don't look official, then the dumb FBA will lean towards that it may not be real. It may just be an act right there on the train. Look at this.
There's some white people who got questions about it. About how real it is. Is it really real? Because some people are saying, and I'm saying there's a lot of white people even saying this crime is almost too perfect. It's a perfect crime. You got a perfect victim and a perfect perpetrator.
You have a perfect victim and you have a perfect perpetrator. This is talking about the Ukrainian that was unlived on the train by the mental FBA guy.
You got a young, blonde, white woman from the Caucasus mountain region of Europe. Oh, you don't get no whiter than that. She's a Ukrainian refugee.
And see, that's another thing I don't like to do about these types of shows, because it kind of like you minimize life. You know what I mean? And I don't care who it is, man. I don't like to minimize the value of a life. I don't like to minimize the value of life of any kind. I don't care if it's a puppet. I don't care if it's a human being. I don't care if it's mankind. It don't make me no different. I don't like to minimize life. And just to see a person to minimize life in this commentary, this is why I kind of stay away from these type of shows.
And she came over here. She just got here, and she's riding the train in the middle of the night, and a big burly Negro with dreads just murdered her for no reason. See, we told you so. Ain't that's kind of convenient, ain't it? I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm not saying that. But damn, it's kind of convenient, huh?
Ain't that crazy that a grown man going on 60 would sit before an audience and downplay someone who lost their life. And he does it a lot. He does this a lot. This guy have to be living in a self-made hell. He did the same thing when the brother got jumped by Mega. He called him a tether. You know what I mean? Like, he got to be living in a self-made hell. He just come up with stuff that don't make any kind of sense whatsoever. But now, for him to do all of that, to say all of that, and then to do this flyer right here because of Charles Kirk, you know what I mean? It says a lot. Let me read that comment real quick. Somebody says, without the Prince of Pan-Africanism around, Tariq has been under the microscope. He is good with riding the waves. Yeah, but the thing is that one thing about Tariq, he, right now, it's almost over for him. You know what I mean? And so he's like crashing out. He's like crashing out, because to say something like that is kind of like crashing out. And he's trying to say it calm. You know, a lot of times late night, people that do late night podcasts, they be on them Zolofts and on that slow me down medicine, and they start talking, yeah. And when they kill them, they be on that kind of stuff when they do late night stuff, and they just be talking out their head, yeah. You know what I mean? They do them. Yeah. No. Yeah. You can't see their face because they don't want you to see they all turned up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just convenient, isn't it? Just convenient. A big dreadlock, yeah. Don't even pronounce the whole word, Because most people do them late night streams be on them Zolofts, man. They be out there, man. They be on another fantasy world. You know what I mean? But look, check this out. Here is the FBA magistrate that let the guy free. And they saying that she let him free quite a few times. She let him free quite a few times. Not she didn't, but they claim that she left a lot of people free. But the guy Decarlos, they claim that had been locked up prior for a felony, she let him go. And this is a magistrate, FBA magistrate, and this is what I mean about the mental illness of FBA. The mental illness of FBA. FBA mental illness, we're not talking about melanated people. We're not talking about melanated people. We're not talking about all people of African descent. We're talking about a mentality. We have created a profile. Family, if you was here early, I'm going to say it again, so work with me. We have created a profile for FBA. The profile for FBA is xenophobia and blame white supremacy for everything, even if it's your own doing. Even if it's your own undoing, blame white supremacy. So whenever you see these types of behavior, this is what we call FBA mentality. All right? This is not melanated. This is not. Somebody say, how do you know the judge is FBA? How do you know Tariq is FBA? What do you mean, how do I know the judge is FBA? No. Let that stand. Let that stand. Let me see. Now show that. Let me see. Yeah, issues and views. Yeah, keep that up. How do we know that she is FBA? How do we know Tariq is FBA? How do we know? The same requirements that you have as Tariq FBA, I use the same requirements. This is FBA. She's FBA. You know what I mean? That's right. She's FBA. FBA means that person is not thinking with all of their marbles. That's what an FBA is. FBA means they're just not thinking with all their marbles. That's all. FBA doesn't mean someone descended from the plantation and descended from Africa, or descended from the plantation and indigenous to the land. FBA means people who are not thinking with all their marbles. That's what an FBA is. Anybody that followed Tariq Nasheed is not thinking with all of their marbles. And the profile is this type of behavior that we see on the internet today. I'm gonna get that Tariq ad lib. I'm gonna get that Tariq. I'm gonna get that ad lib before I stop doing these shows. Y'all know that Tariq ad lib he do all the time. I'm gonna get that demonstration you want. Yeah, I'm gonna get that demonstration. The dumb issue. I'm gonna get that. That's right. I'm gonna master that for the documentary. You better believe it. But family, so while Tariq puts this guy in heaven with George Floyd, while he puts this guy in heaven with George Floyd, let's look at some of the comments of this guy, Kirk. This is some of Kirk quotes. Prowling blacks go around for fun to target white people. That's a fact, quote unquote. Hold up. You know what? Let me put this like this so we can see it. This is Tariq that put this guy in this makeshift heaven with George Floyd. Now listen. Check it out. These are the quotes from Charlie Kirk. All right? If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he is qualified. George Floyd was a scumbag. This is Charlie Kirk, the same person that Tariq Nasheed has in this flyer right here, or this article, or this thing that he posts on his personal X page just 3 hours ago. Kirk says, the great MLK was just a man, a very flawed one at that, a mythological anti-racist creation of the 1960s. The Great Replacement is not a theory. It's a reality. If I'm going to deal with somebody, listen what he says. Somebody asked, what about the Conzo show? Family, I'm saving the Conzo show for Sunday. It's a big show. Thank you for checking, Boston Gerard. I'm saving it for Sunday. Listen, he says, this is Charlie Kirk, the one that is resting in power, according to Tariq with George Floyd. The Great Replacement is not a theory. It's a reality. If I'm dealing with someone in customer service who is a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Leaders won't do what is necessary, which is arresting black criminals. Black crime is a major issue in our country, quote unquote. What is the real problem exactly? The real problem is that black fathers abandon the women that they impregnate. And someone says all of these points are valid. They're really not valid. Nobody block nobody tonight unless they cuss me out. Ultra Fine Deluxe. These points are not valid. These points are just as valid as I can pick out racial things in European communities and make a whole checklist. But what you're looking at is not a racial thing. You're looking at social issues. So for instance, when you look at what they call black on black crime, that's an illusion. That's a made up thing. Now, that doesn't mean that crime doesn't happen in quote unquote black communities. It does. But guess what? When a crime that just happened against Charlie Kirk, nobody is calling that white on white crime. They just said the man just lost his life. Nobody calls what just happened to Charlie Kirk white on white crime. And guess where he was at? In Utah. What is the population? Family, the thing is that the environments in where people dwell, where people live, where people communicate, the crime will be consistent with that population. So if the population is majority of quote unquote black people and crime happened, then it's going to be two black people. It's going to be quote unquote two black people. If it happens in Utah, if it happens in Maine, it's going to be two Europeans. Why? Not because it's white on white crime. It's because of the demographics, goofy. So anything that a person says that's racially motivated against us as a people, wherever you go, where the population is a certain gender, a population is a certain ethnic group, that is going to be the part of the crime that exists there. So if you go to a community where it's LGBT community and every time they get in a fight, you ain't gonna scream out, oh, that's LGBT crime on crime. That's LGBT on LGBT crime. Why do we as a people get these tags and these labels when this happens anywhere? If you go in a neighborhood in China and you got criminals in China, they're not going to say, oh, it's a Chinese on Chinese crime. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that when you go to Chinatown and a person with a shop in Chinatown beefing with another person with a shop in Chinatown and they get the rumbling. You say, oh, Chinese on Chinese crime. You don't say that. You don't say that. But this shows you that these things are racially motivated. Ultra fine deluxe. So these points are not valid. These points are not valid at all. These points are news highlight reels that cover our community more than they cover other ethnic communities. That's all it is. Yeah, we do have things going on. Don't get it twisted. But at the same time, other ethnic communities are not covered not even half the time it's put on other ethnic communities as it's put on our community. We are plastered on the news. I don't care if it's rap music, shaking and thotting and looking dusty and crazy. I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's crime where two people sagging their pants and waving their guns in the air. It doesn't matter. We make the news for anything because we have become the entertainment of the world. It is what it is. But let me get back to Charlie. He says, leaders won't do what is necessary, which is arresting black criminals. Black crime is a major issue in our country. What is the real problem exactly? The problem is that black fathers abandon the women they impregnate. You know what's strange about that? That I used to feed into, get my fan rocking. I used to feed into that idea. I used to feed into that ideal at one time. But when you look at the statistics, there are more broken European homes than our homes, family. And a lot is due to their population versus our population, but the numbers is the numbers. It's more broken homes than us. Our stuff is always highlighted though, because we're corralled in a small 2-block radius of a project. So we are always put under the microscope. But other groups go through the same exact thing. Shawnee Brown said it's 67,000 black people in Utah in a population of 3.5 million. So, Shawnee, thank you for those numbers. So what did that tell you? That tells you that majority of the crime, it will be perpetrated as they call black on black. It will be perpetrated as a white on white crime, but no one will describe it as that. Anyway, Black Lives Matter wants to fan the flames of race war in our country. This is an outright threat of full frontal domestic terrorism in our country. A BLM Incorporated leader drove through the holiday parade. The alleged Waukesha attack. I might have butchered that real quick. The alleged Waukesha attacker was a black supremacist terrorist. Juneteenth threatens the fabric of this country. This is the conservative that the FBA's voted for. Do y'all understand that this is Trump, man? Do y'all understand that this is Trump, man? Hold up. Let me show y'all again. Do y'all understand that this is Trump, man? This is what the guy said. This is what he posted on his page about the Ukrainian who lost her life. America will never be the same. He pushes the racial line, even to the minute of his unliving. He was talking about black gang culture in Utah. What possesses a person to go to Utah to talk about black gang culture? How is it that talking about black gang culture in Utah is effective on anything that's going on where the gang culture actually exists? Listen what I'm saying. Why is this guy in Utah, and according to Shawnee Brown, has 3.5 million European and other groups, but he's in Utah talking about gang violence? Why? Man, they go into them places and rally the troops. They season the minds of Europeans to see us in a way where only a small percentage of our people live their life. Only a small percentage of our people live their life in that little box of perpetual criminality, perpetual thugs, only a small percentage, a very small percentage. Listen, they had me so messed up that I thought that was our culture too. I thought that was our culture too. I thought thugging was our culture. I thought thugging was cool. I thought thugging was the fad and it'll change to another form of thugging later. I thought it was cool too. But it's only a small percentage. When you get out and see the real world, let me give you an example. Here in Maryland, right? If you are in the inner city, Maryland, Baltimore City, if you are in the inner city, Baltimore City, right, and you go into what we call the most distressed areas or the most impoverished area, you will still see majority of the people getting up and going to work every day. Majority. They're getting up, whether they got their own business, whether they got their own street side hustle, and they ain't talking about slinging drugs. Only a small percentage is slinging poison on the block. Only a small percentage is banging the thing on the block. Only a small percentage. Majority of people in our communities, I got you, Anthony Henderson, only a small percentage of our community contribute to the stuff that the world see us as. Family, if I could do a show to really highlight this stuff and y'all would pay attention, I would go into the hood and show you if I'm talking about by numbers. But I don't know if you're going to pay attention to it. I don't know if people are interested in that type of podcasting. I don't know. But I know if a European go into the hood and they highlight all the burning downs, all of the shooting, all of the thugging, all of the drug dealing, then everybody will watch that. But if I go and do the show and I show you that majority of these people are working class people, even in the most distressed area, I wonder if people would show up and watch it. I might have to try that, Crip. I might have to try that. Because I'm telling you, I lived in these areas. I live right off of 20th and Greenmount. 20th and Greenmount is one of the most gangster place, quote unquote, in Baltimore City. And majority of people get up and go to work every day. Majority of people do. Now, but when it gets bad in the trap, it gets bad in the trap. But if you're not living that life, you really ain't got nothing to worry about. It is what it is. Most people in Baltimore that live that life are the most respectable people you want to meet. But you just don't want to meet them in that life that they are living, and you are living that same life. You don't want to meet them like that, because that same respectable person and that same loving brother or sister will become your worst nightmare. But for the most part, man, the thugs have more respect than what they show on the internet. Real talk. Real talk. That stuff that you see on the internet, these be rappers. These are be rappers from the suburbs acting like they from round way. I mean, but anyway, they say, who is this guy? This European on the screen, his name, the European on the screen, his name is Charlie. And Charlie recently today was unlived by an older European while he was doing a rally in Utah. And right before he mentioned something about gang violence, a hot thing hit him in the neck live. And if you go on Twitter, you can see it. I can't play it here live. And that was the end of him. I'm just saying, man, I hope that, man, I just hope that, man, that people can learn from this thing, man, because no one should lose their life. You know what I mean? I don't agree with nothing this guy say, but he doesn't deserve to be sniped out. I'm just saying. It's not like he's coming at somebody threatening them. Yes, he's threatening our civil liberties. Yes, he threatens freedom of us to be treated fairly. Yeah, he threatens all of that. But he's not physically threatening nobody. No one deserved to be sniped out like that. Nobody. But that's what happened. When I go to Maryland, I stay in District Heights. I do not think that is the hood. No, District Heights ain't the hood, but District Heights can get a little something too. I mean, somebody said people lose their life every day, B. Yeah, and I'm not one who, Tyler Darden, I'm not one who, I don't like tragedy. I mean, I just don't like tragedy from ignorance, if you will. I don't like tragedy from ignorance. That's just me. I don't like tragedy from ignorance. It's not my thing. I mean, it's just not my thing. I don't care who it is. I mean, it's not my thing. Now, if you come and you threatening somebody, if you come and you pushing up somebody and you get unlived, it makes sense. It makes sense. But if you're sitting right there in front of a crowd of people and unsuspectedly some coward hiding in the crowd do something like that, nah, man. Nah, nah, man. If a man should face a man face to face, that's just where I'm at with it. I mean, like, come on, man. But I mean, I'm not here to defend anything. But guess what? There is a thing called karma. You know what I mean? So we have to play the fence on this one because it's not our beef. You know what they say? It's not our beef. So we have to play the fence on this because it is a thing called karma. And you can't keep putting out this hot, nasty energy and don't expect the energy to boomerang back. We have to take that into account too, right? We have to take that into account. You know what I mean? If you put out crazy, and listen to some of this about Yusef Salaam of the Central Park Five. He once took a part in a gruesome gang rape of a jogger in Central Park after getting away with gang ape. What I'm saying is, the Central Park Five was exonerated. The Central Park Five was exonerated, and he was still talking about that they gang. Affirmative actions does not address the real problem. Black crime, black fathers abandoning their children. Black crime is a huge problem no one wants to talk about. He's going to European conservatives and having these conversations. More than 600 white women a year are murdered by black men, by blacks. These are the things that he would put out there. So to my point, we have to take into account that the universe, when the universe come to collect, it is what it is. I mean, somebody say, check out line 20. More than 600 white women a year are murdered by black men, by black. Cryptonomics say, GS, the conservatives are clear to see. They try to recreate narratives of the past in their own light, and many times they are incorrect when they do so. Absolutely, brother. And you know the crazy thing is that Tariq Nasheed and the FBAs push these conservative ideals. They push. See, I really want to listen. At the end of the day, I'm really tired. I'm not tired, but it's like I'm over with highlighting Tariq Nasheed. I think that if dummies are going to follow that, let them follow it, and we'll just watch as it crash and burn. Because at the end of the day, like, what person in their right mind think that this post is appropriate? You have to be mentally challenged. You have to be mentally challenged to look at a post like that and think that it's okay. You have to be mentally challenged. So at the end of the day, we have to sit back and watch the mentally challenged crash and burn, and then just cover it once a month, maybe. Hey, y'all see this? Let's do a combination of the whole month of what they did. Because at this point, this is sad that someone would even think that this is a reasonable guy to listen to. The mental illness starts at the top. It starts at the top. Listen to. So you look at the post right there. Rest in power to Kirk, right? Listen to this. This is what he said. Hold up one second. I think I got it right here.
Iryna Zarutska was stabbed to death on the rail system in Charlotte, North Carolina by a savage career criminal.
Her life story, I think, will be told both in the United States and Ukraine for years to come. What do you think the importance of this story is most fundamentally?
This was one of the coldest, most senseless murders I've ever seen. She had no interaction with this guy whatsoever. She was sitting minding her own business, and he just takes out a knife and just decides to stab her. I do say this with some form of just heaviness. I don't like politicizing situations like this, but it just necessitates it because there are so many dynamics at play here. Based on the information evidence we have, the attacker did say, "I got that white girl." The attacker racialized it in his own telling of this situation.
Do y'all notice that he does the same thing Tariq Nasheed does? He does exactly the same thing Tariq Nasheed does. And this shows you that this is a script. Listen, if Tariq Nasheed was talking about a person from Haiti, it would be the same verbiage. It would be the same commentary. It's almost identical. Almost identical. This shows you that this script comes from a place where we don't see, but we experience every time one of them go live. It's the exact same script. Whether it's a Haitian from Tariq or whether it's a quote-unquote black person from Charlie Clerk, it's the same script. It's the same script. The only difference is Charlie Kirk is targeting quote unquote black people, and Tariq is targeting quote unquote black people from islands or not of American soil descent. That's it. That's it. That's the only difference. They're targeting two different type of people descended from Africa.
Situation. And we all know this. Any honest observer of your program knows this, including Van Jones even knows this deep down, which is that, of course, if a random white person on a subway took out a knife and stabbed a black girl senselessly to death, there would be massive media coverage. There would be policy changes. There would be people having to apologize for this. We saw this in George Floyd, and yet, for whatever reason, this situation has not garnered even a fraction of that kind of outrage or backlash.
There it goes. And this is what I mean about when a person puts out this type of energy and they racialize everything. Everything is racialized. Now, if this was, let me give an example. When the European ran up in the church and sprayed and bust up the church years ago, and I think that was in North Carolina also, he was mentally ill. He was mentally ill. Whenever a European does something, even if, or South Carolina, I'm sorry, even if the person was stable all the way up till the event, he's mentally ill. But when a mentally ill FBA type commit a heinous crime, he's just an animal. He's just an animal. They never take into consideration the mental illness until it's on their side. You anybody ever notice that? But this is the type of FBA mentality. This is what FBA is producing. Y'all don't see it now. Listen, if y'all remember, I was covering the Grandmaster J fiasco. And when I was covering the Grandmaster J fiasco, I said, y'all don't know. I said, y'all don't know the end results of this, but let me explain to you. I said that most of these people that have come out their backyards with their guns, and Grandmaster Jay was telling people to bring their guns out and march and all of that. It was just so crazy and bizarre to me that people would actually come out of their house with their guns to march down the road and get bans from the police and saying that they protested or that they no justice, no peace with guns. I thought that was insane to me. But people were doing it. And I said that. I said, you know what? I said, all of y'all are being identified and many people are going to be going to jail. You watch. And before you knew it, they started swooping down and locking people up. Many of them didn't even have a license to carry a gun. Many of them had stolen weapons. Many of them had no training in weapons. People were shooting themselves, all type of stuff going on. But I told y'all that the program that was designed was to bring people from the background to the forefront. And FBA is no different. FBA is no different. What it does is the formulator of FBA remains silent in their den and in their private little protected area. While those who listen to the rhetoric, they will go out and express the rhetoric and get plucked off. They will get watched, and if they show signs that they have the propensity for violence, for xenophobia behavior to attack people, they will get picked off. They will get picked off. And hey, I don't want them around me, but I'm just saying they are being set up. They are being set up, and they're being set up by the orchestrators. The same thing, and it's the same soup warmed over. It's the same soup warmed over. They get an agitator online, See, at first, let me show you how they used to do. If anybody study COINTELPRO, the first thing they used to do is they would send somebody within the group, gain trust in the group, and then they would influence the group. Today, they don't have to do that. They create an influencer to influence people on the internet, and then they find out who is the radicals and get them plucked off when they go and do radical stupidity nonsense, stupid nonsense. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying. Remember, did anybody, man, we're a little bit older. Did anybody ever study? Anybody ever study or read on COINTELPRO how it works? Anybody ever read up how it works? They would send somebody out there. They would send somebody out there to become a part of the group. And when they become a part of the group, they gain the trust of the people. And the next thing you know, they would try to influence people to BOMB things, to KILL things. They would influence people to rob banks. They would influence people. And then when they went and do it, they would pick them off. Well, now they don't have to send people into groups. They don't have to send people into groups. What they do is they create influencers, whether it's Tariq Nasheed, whether it's Vlad, whether it's No Jumper or any other. They create influencers to bring people outside of their cocoon. And once they bust the cocoon and they get the radar put on them, they didn't just, all they did was move the intelligence to the internet. That's all they did. They moved the intelligence to the internet. And all of these things, this is why, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. This is why Tariq Nasheed is not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. Islam Shiga, Tariq Nasheed is not going nowhere. This is his job. You understand what I'm saying? He's not going nowhere. These people that's on the internet, without the internet, they have nothing. They have nothing. They have no marketable skill. They have no marketable skill without a camera, and they need the boost of those behind the scenes to even make their internet personality flow. They need bots. They need technical support. They need all types of stuff to make it appear for them to be successful on the internet. So without the internet, they have nothing. I mean, zero. Ask yourself this. You take a Tariq Nasheed, for example. Without the internet, what would he be doing? I'll wait. What would he be doing? What would he be doing? I'll wait. So they're not going anywhere. They're not going nowhere because this is all they have. I can shut this camera off right now and just grind to ain't no tomorrow and be good. You know what I'm saying? And all the time I spend here, I have a skill. I have a marketing skill that I can do on the ground to help people, to support people, and to uplift people and my community and get paid a nice penny for it. I won't have to do it in the time that I do it now so I can do the show. I can do it full time. They can't do that. They can't do that. So I'm telling you that they are set in motion by hands that you don't see. They punch a clock. It's kind of like when I heard the guy, what is the albino guy that was friends with Tariq Nasheed? He would always say, man, I clock a lot of hours. I clock a lot of hours on this internet, you know, and sometimes we get clock a lot of hours. The language that he used, Sir Major, thank you. Sir Major said, yeah, we be clocking a lot of hours on the internet. And no one really caught it. I got to bring that out one day. No one really caught it. But clock a lot of hours? What do you mean? Family, I remember there was a time when, right during election season, the next election season, pay attention. Right during election season, It was some people that was live streaming in on Twitter. Some of them was like 10-hour live streams. Shut down for a few hours and go to 10 more hours of live stream. They was trying to get me on their live stream. Like, man, I'm not getting on this live stream. Y'all crazy. That's all y'all do. I'm talking about 10 hours, 15 hours. Like, what in the world is wrong with these people? But it goes to show that there is somebody, as Grandmaster Jay say, passing out checks. Somebody's passing out checks, family. You know what I mean? Somebody passing out checks. And watch, when the election season come up again, you're going to see it again. Look at this. This is, so when I look at Tariq Nasheed and I look at people like Charlie, they're two sides of the same coin. This is what this post mean to me. Y'all see this post right here? Let me pull it up. Y'all see this post right here? Rest in power. This is what he says. And he can try to chalk it up like he's being facetious. But let me tell you what I see. This is what I see.
I don't know if it's just me, you guys, but is everybody else taking this hard? I don't know if it's just me, you guys, but is everybody else taking this hard? I can't even go in a house, like, with my family. Like, we had our own crisis. Like, I am taking this hard because Charlie represents he represents so much to the conservative movement. There's not a person they could have took from us that is more important besides maybe Trump or somebody like that. But that's how important that man is and has been. Just the way he died, doing what he loves, getting shot.
This FBA, man. This is FBA. This is FBA, man. This is FBA. This is the insanity of FBA that I'm talking about, family. This is it right here. This is the insanity of FBA. When I say mental illness, FBA, this is what I'm talking about right here.
This is a sick Negro.
This is what when I say FBA insanity, I'm not talking about melanated people in general. I'm not talking about people of African descent. I'm not talking about people who are descendants and indigenous of the Americas. I'm not talking about these responsible people that are melanated. I'm talking about people who have a mentality of FBA. Listen to this guy.
For what? For what? What did he do? This is supposed to be America. This is not America. This is not the America I grew up in. It's not. The left has turned this into a scary place for people like me and others that just love our country, right? We're doing the best we can to love God. And
he said, and others who love our country. Hey, family, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is what FBA really represents. This is why when you see the FBA banner, you see the stars and the stripes mixed in there, mixed with a little bit Cuba, Puerto Rican tone. You see it? You see it?
Charlie was a man of God, man. The AmFest, he cannot be replaced, and they know this. That's why they came after him. That's why he picked Charlie. It is.
No, he is FBA. He said this is our country, Sean W. He FBA. You know, that's an FBA talking point. This is our country. Let me see if I can bring it back. We love our country.
For what? What did he do? This is supposed to be America. This is not America.
This is supposed to be America. This is not America. This is not America. This is country.
This is not the America I grew up in.
Well, Sean W. said he was debating Amanda Seals talking about black people asking for handouts. Well, Sean W. Well, FBA voted for Trump, and he said he wasn't giving no reparations. So it's the same thing, though, ain't it? If FBA pushed people to vote for Trump, and Trump said he wasn't giving reparations, isn't that the same thing? That's FBA, brother. That is FBA talking point. Although they faking like they want reparations, they push people to Trump who emphatically said he wasn't giving you nothing. At least the collard greens cooker in the tub said she was considering talking to people or something. She said she was bluffing too. She was bluffing too. I mean, she was bluffing too. I give it to you. She was bluffing too. But nevertheless, Trump emphatically said he ain't giving out nothing. He ain't giving out nothing. And FBA was pushing people to vote in that direction. So, hey, it's the same thing. FBA online talks reparations, but you can tell it's a lie. You can tell it's a lie because they don't organize to execute reparations. Is that right? FBA talks reparations, but what effort has they put in motion for reparations? The only thing they do is look at somebody else's efforts for reparations and says, that's FBA. Even in California, the things that they put on the floor in California, these were done by citizens of California who was concerned about reparations. None of those people was confirmed FBA. So all FBA do is gaslight, talk reparations, pull on people's heartstrings, talk immigration, talk white supremacy, but none of them are organizing nowhere on the ground. In fact, you take some of these FBA people, whether it's, what's the guy named Alpha, the guy Alpha Omega, whatever his name, Black Alpha. Where's his community? Where is he organizing in his own community? You take the guy Afro Elite. Where is he organizing in his own community? You take Tariq Nasheed. What is he doing in his own community? If you ain't doing nothing in your own community, ain't nothing you can do in nobody else's community. And that's the bottom line. Let's listen to the FBA conservative.
It's not. The left has turned this into a scary place for people like me and others that just love our country, right? We're doing the best we can to love God, and Charlie was a man of God, man. The AmFest, he cannot be replaced, and they know this. That's why they came after him. That's why he picked Charlie. It's hard for me. I mean, I've never met him. That's how you know when you've impacted the world, when your death makes people who never met you break down like they're your best, like we were sat at the table together. It's a devastating day.
It's a devastating day. Look, Tariq say, rest in power. It's a devastating day. Oh yeah, it's real. It's real. It's real. This is FBA. This is the lunacy of FBA. I'm trying to tell you. This is insane. This is insane. You know what I mean? This is insane. So at the end of the day, family, you got what you got. You got what you got. You got what you got. Y'all FBAs, y'all went out there, said everybody need to vote for Trump. You went out there and said, then you even bragged about it. Oh, we won the election. Okay. And now you have this guy playing both sides of the fence saying rest in power. Like, you couldn't come up with a better meme than that. But he's sending a message to both sides. He sent one message to the dumb FBA, and he sent another message to the handlers, because he want to catch the headline. And that's why I say pretty soon I'm done with the conversation. I'm done with the conversation. We're going to move on. Tomorrow night, family, people ask me about the microphone check conversation. It's coming. But tomorrow night, I'm going to probably be in the community tomorrow night. I'm probably, somebody say I need to go to community. I might have to go to community, family. I might have to go to the community. I just threw this show together because I thought this was, wow, the mental illness, fam. Look at the mental illness. This is totally mental illness. This post right here, this is mental illness. This is FBA mental illness, family. Mental illness. So whenever you see FBA, don't take FBA. All right, let me say this before I get out of here. Don't take FBA as generally speaking to people who are of African descent or indigenous to America or trace themselves to the plantation. Don't consider all of them FBA. FBA is those who are mentally challenged. And whenever you see mentally challenged behavior, it's coming from a proclaimed FBA or one who demonstrates the mentally challenged FBA behavior. You hear what I say? That's what FBA has become. Because the foundation of FBA from the founder is to attack people look like you and complain about white supremacy, but never go outside your door to do anything to fix any problem in your own community. There is no FBA movement in a community. Show me, family, is there an FBA movement in any community anywhere? Anywhere. I'm talking about reparations. I'm talking about educational. I'm talking about a movement. I ain't talking about 3 or 5 people or one family. Show me one in one community. Any community. I'm not talking about one family saying I'm FBA and I do homeschooling. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when Tariq Nasheed says this is a movement but it's not a leader. We don't have a leader. It's a lineage. Okay, if it's a movement, show me one community where you have a group. I can show you a community. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, I showed you a community. I showed you a community of Pan-Africanism, a Pan-Africanist. Showed you a community. I can show you a community of Moors. Even if you don't agree with them, I can show you a community of them. I can show you a community of Hebrews. I can show you a community of Christians. I can show you a community. Show me a community. There is none, family. There is none. It's just a bunch of people on the internet talking. And, man, I give a big shout out to some of the the FBAs. I don't know if they former FBA. People like Lord Jamal. He didn't calm down with the rhetoric. He didn't calm down. He doesn't even mention FBA no more. I guess they gave him a breakdown, and hopefully it's his decision and it's not the decision of the powers behind the FBA. Because if it's decision with the powers behind FBA, he will return around mid-elections. He will return around mid-election. But if it's his decision not to get involved in the FBA foolery, then he's probably gone for good from the FBA rhetoric. Because it's nowhere. It's falling apart anyway. And I give a shout out to Doggy Diamonds, who recently on social media posts, he put that I am a Black American. And that's a great thing for him to put, because he was also at one point identifying with the FBA, and he's too great of a person to identify with ignorant rhetoric like that. Because once you attach yourself to FBA, you attach yourself to mental illness. Yeah, you do. You do. Once you attach yourself to FBA, you literally tag yourself as mentally unstable. You follow me? Somebody say he gets fewer responses on X for late night show. Yeah. That's right. So with that being said, family, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all turning up tonight, coming in and joining me tonight. I just wanted to speak on this, man. I don't know. Let me ask y'all a question. Man, I be wanting to speak on this Young Thug thing. Y'all been following this Young Thug thing about this snitching thing? Press 7 if y'all been following that. If y'all follow that, I want to speak on some of this stuff, man, because, man, I got an opinion about a lot of stuff on the internet. Anybody? It's wild to me that they would think that Young Thug is not snitching. It's wild to me, and I would like to speak on it. You know what I mean, it's wild to me that a person can sit in an interrogation room for an hour and a half. The same person that says you ain't supposed to open your mouth to the police, and then you have a group of people that would try to justify that as if that's a norm for a criminal to do. That's not normal. And then the conversation that he was having on the telephone while he was in jail, man, he was a chatty patty. He was a chatty patty against everybody. He chatted patty on Birdman. He chatted patty on Sexy Red. He chatted patty on Lil Wayne. He was on the phone call just like, bro. You definitely talk to them peoples. And I would love to give my wisdom and take on that. Because at the end of the day, if you are that comfortable talking to them people in the way that you was, even flirting with the officer, that ain't your first rodeo. That ain't your first rodeo. Because ain't nowhere in the world I could be, man, my heart be beating. Like, man, listen, I just need an attorney. No, I ain't did nothing. I just need an attorney. Please. I just need an attorney. My heart would be beating. My palms be sweaty. I'll be ready to throw up mom's spaghetti. Nah, man. Ain't no way I'm going to be that comfortable, man. He talking about, man, he like way too comfortable. Know what I mean? And the officer, she's sitting up there like, you going to make a song about me? You gonna make a song about me? What you gonna call it? I'm gonna call, like, he sound like a short bus slow. And this is what I know. See, this is why I want to get my opinion on some of these things. I want to get my opinion on these things. Because many of these people that play tough guy, their brain not sparking right. Their brain is not sparking right. I'm telling you. It's not sparking right. All this tough guy, I smacked her, their brain is not sparking right. The protons and neutrons and electrons, they not meeting up. Because the way that these conversations was going in that interrogation room, I was like, man, bro, you don't see what's happening here? That wasn't his first rodeo. I might even do a show. I'm about to dance around on some of this internet stuff. I'm going to make it interesting and give my take on some of this crazy stuff going on. I hope you join me as I give my wisdom to some of this stuff. Because I think that I can use some of these situations that we see on the internet that's happening in real time but playing out on the internet. I think that I can give some wisdom to these things to allow people to see things a little bit different. You know what I mean? I think I can, and I'm gonna give it a shot. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, all right. That's kind of gossipy. Okay,
both of my parents, on both sides of the family, we can trace everything back to plantations in Alabama, North Carolina. So my family, 100% foundational Black Americans. Nobody in my family.
I see y'all tomorrow night.
Can do that. We can.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line. Yeah. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more. I'll be live tomorrow. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line. I'm working out too. And you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies. Yeah. Those who speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I speak about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the worst to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you wasn't black, proved it was Yeah, yeah.
You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European how to bathe. And look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, but
check
do the
1
men
2.
really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation.
I'm sharing, are you?
Serve. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I be that more you gon' remember.
Yeah.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number.
Yeah.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler. This era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface.
Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose.
Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro.
Yeah, you know I ain't slow.
I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for show. And some got
thumbs
it right
up.
now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my store, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the same.
Yeah.
You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's
why you kill and fight and marry out of your race. If you ain't from Moorish World, then get out of my face.
Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish World, come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. Oh yeah. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That town. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number.
Thumbs up, family. What up, Michael Benson?
I be that more you gon' remember.
Thank you, Thurman Smart.
I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number.
Let me say this. I want to thank Thurman Smart for always throwing me a little something in the Cash App. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you all who hits the thumbs up. Thank you all who share. Thank you for all the support. Anybody, man. I know it's a brother named Ian that hits the Cash App. I know I can't name everybody. Thanks Starlight. Thank everybody, family. I really, really appreciate you. For doing what you do to help make sure that this podcast lives on. We the only podcast of our kind, and real soon you'll be able to hear my big mouth on Apple while you're driving or wherever you're going on your trip. If you drive a tractor trailer, if you drive a Uber, you will be able to hear me on Apple. I'm taking the show on the road, family. I'm taking the show on the road. I'm bringing more diverse commentary. I'm sick and tired of dealing with this these crazy FBAs that want to follow stupidity. So I'm going to use my intelligence and I'm going to cover other subject matters in order to give a spin as to what the public give you or what the social media give you to what you should have as it relates to knowledge and wisdom and moving in this crazy world. Thank my big bro M. Nugent. Thank you, the mods, Crypto, Black Girls Read, and everybody else. I really appreciate y'all, family. I'm out. I see y'all tomorrow. I got something special for y'all tomorrow. I might be in the hood tomorrow or be round the way tomorrow. I got something planned. I don't know exactly what it is. Just tune in. I usually don't go live on Thursday, but I will this fall. But fall is here. But so tomorrow, I think I got something special for you, and I'm going to be in the thick of it tomorrow. So I hope I see you here tomorrow. Thanks for all your support, family. Shout out to Sheikah. When Sheikah coming on the show, talk about these crazy Moors that be talking crazy. Mac Nasty. Man, I can't be saying Mac Nasty. Salute to Mac. Can I say Mac? Man, y'all got them names, man. Make me feel like Dame Dash. Pause. Mac Nasty. Pause. Shout out to Mac Nat. Pause. Make me say pause like Dame Dash. Oh, man. I appreciate y'all, family. Pause. Poor Dame Dash, man. That man that fell off for real, man. Shout out to Dave, man. Peace and love, family.